All right, come on.
Unsyndicated presents Shep and Sean, featuring Matt Shepard and Sean Belegian.
Hi, how are you? He's Shep. I'm Sean. Great to be here tonight. How's that? After a few off the air things, Shep. How you doing, buddy?
Geez, oh, Pete, man. I mean, at some point, this is going to get a little bit easier for me, but apparently not. It's unbelievable. I just, some of these things, man. You just
modern technology, dude.
If it's not a clicker, it's not your cell phone. Everything has got an update to it every couple of years. And when you update things and you think, oh, well, I'm updating things. I know what I'm doing. I'm smart. Look at what I can do now. I don't need my kids anymore. And then look what happens. You got, Carol Ann, don't move into the light too much with me in the background. I mean, it's just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. How have you been? All good?
Good. We had a good time. The crew from Woodward had a chance to make it over on Saturday, and we had a good time. We did like the pregame show and the watch party from here and everything. And sorry you couldn't be there, but we had a good time, man. Put on a ton of food. It was a good time.
I bet. I heard great things about it. I was playing some golf and then at a party, so my apologies, but that's nice of you. That's the way to lead the pack, baby. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, you know what? If you're gonna do it, like honestly, just do it right. And like my buddy Mike, I know you met my buddy Mike. I started 10 o'clock the night before. Like literally, it was just like 10 o'clock the night before. We did a couple of pork butts, and then I had, I don't know, like 10 different racks of ribs on, and then you fire up the grill and put the sausages on. Dude, I love it. I absolutely love it. That's
hell of a Friday night for you and Kristen. That's really nice of you to take.
Well, as you know, that poor woman has suffered more than any woman known to man. So, I mean, why stop now, right? Just keep it going, right?
At least you know where the expectations are. She's got the expectations down here. That means anytime you take her out, goes way up, baby.
That's exactly it. And Shep, listen, I mean, you know the routine. Every now and again, what you do is you kind of throw that curveball. She's waiting on the fastball, and then I throw a curveball and go, would you like to go out to dinner tonight? Oh, you're sweet. And I'm like, how do you fall for this? It's
Plus, hey, listen, then when you pull into McDonald's, it gets even better. So good for you. Job well done, buddy. Job well done.
I am never going to deny a Big Mac. There is no possible way I'm ever going to deny a Big Mac. The weather is nice and cooler. Oh my gosh. Shep, when I left this morning for the show, I kid you not, it was 54 degrees. I loved every second of it. And it's funny because I know sometimes I'll speak for me. I come across as an old man. And then I heard on like the news station that you once worked for on my drive in, they said it was like the fourth hottest summer in Detroit in like the last 30 years or some crap like that. And I was like, see, I wasn't being a crotchety old man. It was really a warm summer. I hope it's done.
That could be a lot of different stations. I've worked at just about every single one of them. So I knew where you're going with it. Yeah, I knew you guys talked about it this morning. And I saw you tweet some things about it over the weekend as well. Hendon Hooker, it's the low-hanging fruit. Overall, do you feel with Hassanein now, the 6th-round pick, who he could be out for the year? We don't know. That's speculation. But he's going to be out for a long period of time. Do you get the sense that Zadarius Smith and the signing that he will be in Detroit is more of a sense of urgency? Or do you think it'll still take a week or so, or maybe not at all?
So, Shep, honestly, and I know you and I talked about this months ago, okay, legitimately months ago. I have a feeling this is a human being that wants to avoid training camp. and probably avoid the entire preseason facade. It's a joke, and besides, I mean, we all saw how good the Bears looked yesterday. Nobody's going to be able to compete with the Bears. 17-0. I'm just interested if somebody keeps it within a couple touchdowns of the Bears. But with that,
I don't know if you know this. They do have the second coming of Vince Lombardi, George Halas, Tom Landry, Bill Belichick, and Don Shula.
Yes.
So will you combine that with the athleticism of Caleb Williams, which is the second coming of Michael Vick, and all the other things that they have at their disposal, plus the greatest fan base on the face of NFL gridirons? How are you going to deny it? I mean, it's a time to put up your dukes, dude. Right?
Very, very realistic fan base. Very, just really based in reality and the real world. But to your point, it's funny because as well as I do, he's not going to want to just let him go. Like, this is a third-round pick. If this was somebody else's pick, I think the job would have been done. I think they eventually do. I really, truly do. And part of that reason is, Shep, is there are some roster spots that are the linebacking position. Who do you keep? I have a soft spot in my heart for Anthony Pittman, a guy that's been here on a couple tours of duty, can do a bunch of things, provides good depth. The wide receiver position. Oh, okay. I mean, I think we all know what Tesla brings to the table. You're not going to get rid of Tim Patrick. You're not going to get rid of Khalif Raymond, obviously, with his skill set. Do you keep an extra wide receiver? Do you keep that extra D lineman, as you said, because of the situation with the Egyptian magician?
Well, yeah. I think you have to do that. I do believe this. He would. I think he would clear waivers. You could bring him back on the practice squad.
I think so. Why would anybody? I am not being mean. Why would anybody, because I can hear somebody saying right now, oh, do you really want to test that? Based on what we've seen out of that guy, why would anybody want to test that? And I'm not being mean. I'm shooting straight, Shep. I really am.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the Lions, can you afford to do that?
Yep.
I mean, don't you believe if the worst case scenario happened and Goff went down and Kyle Allen was your backup? It's not exactly the ideal situation. We understand that, but you don't think you could pick somebody else up who might be just as effective or lack thereof as Hendon Hooker? I mean, think about it. I've said this for a while now. Last year, when they turned to Teddy Bridgewater, that was it.
Yep.
I think that told a lot of people how this organization felt about him. I would hope they would want to see how he improved and give him sort of a clean slate. It's hard to get that image out of your mind. It really is, for Teddy Bridgewater to go in there. I think you can do that. I don't know if they want to carry 3 quarterbacks. I just read earlier today, Cleveland might want to carry 5, for crying out loud. Okay? Or 4 quarterbacks, which I think is ridiculous. Maybe Detroit doesn't need to. Maybe because of this injury, or if you go out and you get a guy like Zadarius Smith, maybe because of this injury, you're forced to just carry 2. Because there's been so many guys who have been hit by that injury bug for Detroit.
I would, Shep, you know me, I would bring Jameis Winston here in half a second. I wouldn't even think twice about it, especially with Jackson Dart.
Who's playing really well.
Playing as well as he is, because they're in the same position. Do we keep the true rookie as our 2, or do we keep that veteran? And I'll go, it was December 26th last year. In my mind, Shep, that was the end of Hendon Hooker. It was the day after Christmas when they said, we're bringing in a guy who was coaching high school football, who's had 0 reps this year. To me, that was the end of Hendon Hooker. It really was. I think the pavement had been laid, so to speak.
Yeah, and Kevin writes, how many teams actually have a QB that could come in and hold down for a bit? I think there's a number of teams that can. I'm not saying this guy is the be-all, end-all. So please don't act like I'm calling him an all-pro.
Sure.
Indianapolis feels better with Daniel Jones as their backup than Detroit does probably with Kyle Allen. But Cincinnati feels better with Jake Browning as their backup than Detroit does with Kyle Allen, would be my guess. Jimmy Garoppolo is a backup in the Rams if you feel better than you do with Kyle Allen. I mean, I don't think that's much of a stretch. I think there's probably about maybe 10 teams 10 teams who've got some backups who you feel pretty good about, right? So
It is, and Shep, look, for every Jeff Hostetler going way back, for every situation in Philly a few years ago where Foles came in and got it done.
Yeah.
I can name 30 where a guy came in and the season just went like that, including the mighty New England Patriots, for goodness sake. So, by the way,
let me ask you this: would you feel better if you had Mac Jones as your backup than you do with Hendon Hooker or Kyle Allen?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
I think it makes sense.
I joke about Jameis Winston, but I would feel better with Jameis Winston as a backup quarterback than those two. I really, truly would.
I think I would too. Yeah. If any starting quarterback goes down for an extended period of time, it's going to be a problem. Okay. Yep. And I'm not sitting here petitioning for Bailey flipping Zappy. Okay. Kansas City's backup is Gardner Minshew. I don't want him starting a ton of games, but if he had to start a couple, he's serviceable. He's more serviceable than the guys you got in Detroit's camp. And in fairness to Kyle Allen, in his career, he's thrown more touchdowns than interceptions. He does have a winning record. He has started, I think, 19 games and has played in about 30 or something like that. So it's worth holding on to this dude, but I don't think there's anything wrong with looking for something that's going to upgrade that position.
By the way, if Danny Dimes loses his job to Anthony Richardson, like, come on, like, Shep, I mean, and obviously we know Danny Dimes was a product of the desirous New York media and all that stuff. Yeah. Anthony Richardson's hot garbage. I'm sorry. What more do we need to see out of this guy? Come on.
That is a bad draft pick.
Yep. No doubt. Alan, hello to you. How is it going? It's going very well. Glad you could join us. Shep, let me tell you about our friends at the Wealth Advantage Group. If you're ready to take charge of your financial future, look no further than those two handsome guys right there. That's Mike Husak on the left, Jeff Husak on the right. They are located in historic downtown Northville. Two brothers that understand your financial goals are as unique as you are, and that's why they offer personalized expert guidance to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning. Now, what works for Shep, what works for me, what works for you, oftentimes three different things. So whether you're saving for retirement, you're getting ready to sell a company, you're starting to think about the future, doesn't matter. Let these guys guide you through every step of your financial journey. They have clients throughout all stages of life and clients in over 20 different states. The investment world, it is a complex one. But if you're ready to take your finances more seriously, it's time to work with the experts. They're great guys. They've taken care of my family. The Wealth Advantage Group, 248-773-8574. Check out their website at www.thewealthadv.com. Shep, to say that I wasn't surprised at the NCAA's ruling about Michigan. And like I said, I don't want to talk about it anymore because, like, you knew how it was going to end. You know what happened in everything. Did you kind of have that same vibe? It was kind of like, okay, I know what's going to happen, but like a train wreck, I have to watch and I have to listen and I have to take everything in. To me, Shep, no surprises in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I didn't think they would take away a championship. Personally, I don't think that means anything anyway.
No, I agree with you.
When's the last team that had a championship taken away and everybody said, well, sorry, Louisville, you only have 2 championships, not 3. I mean, I don't think that matters at all. Vacating wins, I don't think matters at all. I thought there might be some hint of scholarships taken away from, or maybe a postseason ban. 1 year, a postseason bowl ban. That I think would do probably more damage than the financial aspect of it. You know, I do find it funny when people go, oh, $20 million, it's nothing. No, it's something. I mean, $20 to $30 million, it could be more than 20. It could be $30 million. That's a lot for an athletic department that doesn't depend on its school.
Yep.
That's the difference. I mean, people are like, oh, the endowment. The endowment has nothing to do with this. Now, are there donors who are willing to cover it? Sure. And that was the way it would be with just about any school, I would guess. I think Michigan did get off a little light. I'm sure a lot of people feel like they got away with something. I don't think the NCAA has any teeth whatsoever, so it doesn't surprise me one bit. That's the way this has gone in sports and college sports. And I think it's becoming more and more of a big turnoff for people when they see how detrimental this pay for play, I hate calling it NIL, this pay for play has taken shape, and it's only going to get worse.
Yep.
It's only getting worse. I've said this for, I don't know, 15, 20 years when people have said, we got to pay the athletes. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just telling you, be careful what you wish for. Because most of the people I know, Sean, and you and I talked to, were years ago when you and I were at an AM radio station, they were calling and bitching that these kids deserve money. Now that the money is there, look at how it's gotten out of control. So shame on the NCAA for not having a vision of what kind of problems might arise. And look at how many people are turned off by it. Because you know what's happening next. We're all well aware. The unionization will take place. Strikes will take place. Lockouts will take place. Collective bargainings will have to be decided. All kinds of things that you can't stand about professional sports has trickled down and will be part of college football. I truly believe this. I don't know if I'll be alive for it. NCAA will have nothing to do with college football. It'll be private equity. It'll be companies or multi-billionaires coming in and buying it and running it.
Before you laugh, there is 1,000% more validity to what Shep just said. And I really, Shep, honest to God, I don't think people are paying attention. I really, truly don't. So now now that everybody knows, I mean, we knew forever, I mean, just how feckless and ineffective the NC2A is. What's stopping them? Like, I'm not being funny. What's stopping them for going down that road? And wait, I said it since day. We all know what happened. You can play pretend. We all know what happened at Michigan. That's okay. And I've said it 1,000 times. I mean, the funny, that wasn't Connor on the sidelines, all that stuff. And the reality is nothing's going to happen. Shep, I swear to God, I agree with you. I thought the funniest thing in the world is when they made like the everything the Fab Five did go away. It's like, oh, hold on. Let me go into my brain. Oh, hold on, that file. Oh, I got to take that file out. So the next time somebody brought up the Fab Five, I had no idea what they were talking about because the NC2A told me it didn't exist. How stupid is that stuff? It's so stupid. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, they took banners down.
Oh,
did that matter?
It happened.
They wiped away records. Did it matter? No, it didn't.
So stupid.
The only thing I ask is, what's the punishment that you feel is sufficient? What needed to happen for anyone to get justification? And the Connor Stallions thing on the sideline, I said at the time, and I'll continue to reiterate, that's the thing that's the worst look. That's the thing that did them in. Jim McElwain can come out and say, his staff invited him on there. They wanted him on there. We all know that there's a lineage there. There's a leeway to the ultimate person. And I still find it really hard to believe that any head coach doesn't know what his staff is doing. Okay. Because they're really anal people. They make sure they're in control of just about everything. Him being on the sidelines is completely different than him being up in the press box or him even being in the stands.
Yep.
Okay. Because you and I can both go to any stadium, Kelly Short Stadium, take our phones and film every coach on the opposite sideline as often as we want. What's going to happen? People do it all the time.
All the time.
And we see it. So it was the fact that his presence was on that sideline and against Michigan State. Now, I had the show with Braylon, and Braylon said it didn't matter. We went out and beat Michigan State by 47. And I've said this forever. The whole stealing sign stuff, this is, it's not a baseball game where you're stealing it in a game for a quick moment and it may take people a while to figure it out. Football, the signs are constantly changing. Okay. What you are signaling into me as the quarterback in the first quarter will be completely different in the third quarter. Anybody who doesn't realize that has not paid attention to football. Okay. It's just the reality. It might even change quarter to quarter. I don't know. So trying to pick that up, I think would be really difficult, but that's what a lot of these guys get paid to do.
Absolutely. Kevin said private equity is perfect, and actually NC2A is a minor league now for pros. Tom, better free agencies in college sports than the pros. It's the genie's out of the bottle. And that it's never going back in. Now the question is, and I mean, we've heard the president say it, you've heard different politicians say it. How do you regulate it? Well, good luck with that. I mean that. Good luck with that, Shep. I don't have the answer to that. I don't.
I truly believe this. I think you're going to see companies get together. They're going to buy. It's going to be the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12, maybe the ACC.
Sure.
I don't know why you'd include the ACC, quite honestly. And it's going to be the National Football League. That's all it's going to be. And it's a separate entity. This whole bullcrap about what's going on right now with including so many more teams. What was it, 26, 28 that I read? Some proposal that they're taking, was it 26?
28, yeah.
Well, 28? Who in their right mind thinks that's a good idea? No, honestly, I mean, let's be real here. Who thinks that's smart? Like who thinks baseball should expand? It's not. So they should get smaller, right? And Rob Manfred's talking about expansion in Nashville and someplace else. Who knows where that would be, right? Portland. I don't know. Do they not recognize that we all see that it's the almighty dollar first and foremost, and that's probably one of the biggest turnoffs? I mean, for some reason, athletes, leagues, conferences, committees, they don't seem to understand. It's like the WNBA and the belief that there's an offer right there. The minimum salary is going to be $250,000. The maximum is going to be $2 million. They turned it down right away, supposedly.
Yep.
Are you not paying attention? What's going on here? Are you and I the only ones who read and have a pulse with people out there who get tired of it?
Shep, I think we're this close to really having, and we thought it was bad in '94. I think we're this close in baseball to having another one of those moments. I really do. And
what moment is that?
At the moment where the owners finally say, we're going to have to institute some kind of, here comes the buzzword, cost certainty. And you've heard so many players talk about it. You heard Bryce Harper lose his mind last week. Yep. You cannot function under that model. You can't. You can't do it, especially when you're talking about expanding. I don't know how you can function under that model. I'm serious.
Yeah, I think you can function under the model if the model includes a floor to pay,
like the NHL does.
Correct. You've got to pay a certain amount of money, and why they can't see this is beyond me. Players don't want the cap. I understand why. Owners don't want the floor, and I understand why. But for the betterment of the game, for the competitive nature of the game, and that's what it's, I think, supposed to be about. How do you not reach a conclusion and say, all right, the cap is going to go up X amount per year, like it does in the NFL, but you're going to have Cleveland, you're going to have to start spending money. Pittsburgh, you got to spend some money. Florida, you got to spend some money. Sorry, it's just too obvious, and it makes a ton of sense. And for the people not to grasp that, they're maybe not as smart as we thought they were, Sean.
The NHL did the exact same thing, and guys that we know were so furious at me because I said, I get it. 95% of the time, the mega rich owner is bad. And he was 100% right in the National Hockey League.
It might be different with the NHL because of the amount of money coming in.
And Shep, to me, that was, I think, compared to, we got the floor, you got the cost certainty. And the one thing they said is that this is going to continue to go up. You watch this, and it's continued to go up.
Here's what they need to do, though. When the money goes up, when the amount of money that comes in from broadcast rights, that percentage to the players needs to go up too. If you negotiated that.
I know I'm preaching to the choir. This is one of those things. When I tell people this, they don't think that I'm being serious. Okay. When you talk about revenue sharing, the NHL owners had the pure unmitigated audacity to ask for, I believe it was a 56-44 cut in favor of the players.
in favor of players.
That if you look up the numbers right now, the profit sharing in the National Hockey League benefits the players. That was a sticking point in the 13-14 labor things.
So what would the problem be for that?
Because they had given such a, I believe, I can look this up to be sure. I believe it was 62-38 at one point in time.
Oh.
And I know I told you this. I had an owner tell me, point blank, I bet you if you think real hard, you can figure out who the owner was. This owner told me with his own mouth, I don't mind losing money. I don't want to bleed money. Like, it's one thing to lose, but if you lose, you know, that, and that is what so many of the hockey league owners were doing.
But here's the problem, Sean. The players don't believe they're losing money, and the owners won't show them that they're losing money. That's
how they lost. Bob Goodnow lost his job and lost that battle when he played that card. The NHL owners went, "Here you go. Here's the books." And that's what you're. I think in other leagues they weren't afraid to do that. I think the NHL owners, like, that was their ace in the hole, and they said, "Okay, Bob, here you go. We called your bluff. Here are all our books." And if you remember, Bob went bye-bye. You know, you played that card, and you're in trouble. You know, doing that.
You better make sure you're right if you're going to play that card.
100%.
Right, but you're not getting that in the other sports. And let's face it, you and I both know the NBA. Sure, players will say it's a great precedent, but they've set a tough precedent to follow for the other leagues because the players have so much say in it. I've never been one of those guys that say that the owners are all bad. They're business people. It bothers me like nobody else's business that they don't spend when I think they should. Spending doesn't always equate to winning, as you and I both know. Hi, New York Mets. But there are times where you feel like that owner owes the fan base the opportunity to stay competitive, right?
By the way, Shep, I fact checked myself. The owners, those greedy owners, what they fought so hard for and said, we're going to sit out again if you guys pull this shit, was just to get to 50-50. Wow. Think about that. Yeah. Just to get to 50-50. Yeah. I mean, it's insane when you think about it.
It's insane if you're showing them the books too. I mean, then there's some legitimacy. And Kevin brings up a great point. No business stays in business if they're losing money. Kevin's 100% right. If the people who are working for the business truly believe that business is truly losing money. And most players in Major League Baseball, most players in football, when teams sell, when the Boston Celtics sell for $6 billion,
yep, $1
billion, do you think there are athletes out there who say they're losing money? Tom Gore's bought the Pistons for $350 million, I think, from Karen Davidson. Sean, Pistons would sell for at least $2 billion right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the hard part, Kev. The hard part is that, sure, I don't expect owners to lose money. Why would you think that? Well, who invests in that? It doesn't matter. You've got more money. You know what to do with. Just don't spend. You buy that team. Do you buy it just to lose money? Hell no. You and I have a hard time figuring out how the hell they lose money, if indeed they do. But that's why there has to be more of an open dialogue between the two sides to say, listen, here's the revenue sharing. We're all going to make money off this. It's a better place for our sport. Let's move forward in this regard. You just don't do it.
That was, Shep, that was one of the big things before the cap. Okay. Remember, they set up the whole year and they got the cap for the 05-06 season. Yeah. I remember one of the funny things, people calling into our radio shows would go, well, maybe you shouldn't put hockey in San Jose. Maybe you shouldn't put hockey in Carolina. You know, the usual stuff. And according to the books, Hey, Hockey Town lost money that year. Right. Mike Ilitch lost money that year because he had, correct me, I think it was a $90 million contract that year, and they lost to the Flames in the playoff like that. So, I mean, that's where we're at. I mean, that's
from Miami now, by the way, after winning a couple cups in 3 years.
Right? Yeah. Honestly, how do A's fans, Rocky fans, Marlin fans exist? It's basically the equivalent of rooting for EMU to win a national championship with the current model. I agree with Sean. MLB needs change. I think it's coming. I really do. I think they're
if it's coming, Sean, it's going to be an arduous task.
Apocalyptic.
and you may lose.
Yes.
You may lose a fan base, a
Yeah.
generational fan base, because you may lose an entire season.
Oh, I mean, it might be 94 all over again. Like, honestly, I mean, I think you know that. Hey, did you know thousands of Metro Detroiters have already called Legacy Partners to get help with their home and auto insurance? Our friends at Legacy are one of Southeast Michigan's top independent insurance agents, and they provide a full-service, one-stop solution for all of your insurance needs, personal and business, large and small. The difference is these guys care. They've been over the house. They've had many conversations. They put many fears to rest. They do the work the other agents do not put in. Oh, and they save you money as well. What are you waiting for? Give Legacy a chance to help with your home, your cars, life insurance, Medicare enrollment, or your business insurance needs. Call them today, 586-209-4106, or visit legacypartnersins.com to get started with your quotes. Tell the boys we sent you. Great, great guys. Sean, are you distracted by the game being on over Shep's shoulder? No. I can't. Shep, I've always said this.
It's already over. Over.
Yeah, what is it? It was 5-0 last I saw.
It's nothing last time I looked.
Okay. Shep, I can't, like, if we're in studio during a show, I can't leave the TV on because I'll be like this. Huh? Yeah, like, seriously. So I can't. So I have a TV right there. I don't even have it on because I know how I am. What? Oh, hey, Shep, we're doing a show, aren't we? You know me, simple things, man. Kevin said, Shep, also, does it make a difference about the amount of players on a team like the NBA versus the rest of sports and what the league generates on revenue?
Sure it does, because there's less players to pay out or have revenue sharing. But it's about the TV contracts. Look, we all know this. This is not brand new, but TV runs everything.
No.
Runs every league. Runs college. Runs college football these days. So yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a factor in that, Kev. So I think that's a good point, but it doesn't take away from the overall principle of it.
Trey Sweeney just hit a 3-run homer. It's now 9-0, Shep.
Well, with Trey Sweeney, I mean, there's your guy.
Watch, right? I can't believe it took that long.
I had somebody send in something earlier today, and they said, when they bring up McGonigal and Clark this year, they're not bringing those guys up, right? First of all, you only get one position, one player, and one pitcher, right? You only have 14 pitchers and 14 players, position players, as you get ready for the postseason. I wouldn't bring them up either. I think what they're doing with those guys, actually, I thought they might get to AA a little bit quicker, but I think the way they're bringing them along is really smart.
Shep, it's funny. I don't know if you and I talked about this. The one major thing I disagreed with was Scott Harris when he had his post-trade deadline presser, is when he said, I don't think that a Tarek Skubal window exists. And I 1000% disagree with that.
Did he say Tarek Skubal, or did he say window in general?
No, Skubal. He said Skubal, and my response to that is, okay, I think at best we get both those guys up maybe next September, right? McGonigal and Clark, right? At best next September.
Depending on what happens with the team. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with Gleyber Torres.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the future holds for certain other players. You know what I mean? I mean, what happens with Zach McKinstry? What happens with long term with Parker Meadows? If those guys next year start at AA and quickly reach AAA by the middle of June, I could see them coming up sooner than that, depending on what's going on with the parent club.
Okay, so let's say June. Let's use June. So you have these two prize prospects, right? With Tarek Skubal for what? 3.5, 4 months? Because Scott, you know as well as I do, he's never going to. All our jaws would drop if the Tigers made that $500 million pay next year, right? We'd all be like, huh? All that. So yeah, there is a Tarek Skubal window.
Absolutely, there's a Tarek Skubal window.
And I would be really agitated if these two young prospects, who surely, Shep, as we know, all these prospects pan out to be everything that we've ever dreamed of and then some, okay? They're all magical and unicorns and all that. Well, they're good in a couple of years, and Tarek Skubel's pitching in another uniform, being paid $500 million. So that was the one thing that he said to me. It was like, no, there most certainly is a Tarek Skubel window, Scott. Make no mistake about it.
I don't think there's a Tigers window.
No, I don't think so either. I agree. But a Skubel window, 100%.
For sure. And Bill says Gleyber Torres has earned another year for me. It's not 1 year, though, Bill. Gleyber Torres isn't signing another 1-year contract.
Yeah.
Gleyber Torres is using this season, and for good reason, to parlay that into a multi-year deal, not a 1-year deal.
And as 40 Gumbo pointed out, good Jack. You just never know. You never know. I mean, that you take your chances with Jack Flaherty. That's the way it is, man.
Well, you know what's interesting? I looked for our show this afternoon. His 2 losses of the last 4 or 5 games, he pitched really well against Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And he pitched really well against Toronto. He was terrible against Chicago. Gave up 8 hits and 5 earned runs in 4 1/3. And he was terrible against Minnesota. Gave up 8 hits, 5 earned runs in 4 2/3. The 2 good teams he was really good against. The 2 bad teams he stunk. So it's very strange how that's been working out for him so far.
By the way, I'm sorry that. Did you hear what Chris Paddock said after the game yesterday? I had to do a double take. They asked him about, he struggled obviously, and he goes, "Man, I'm glad I'm not seeing that lineup again." And I'm thinking to myself, when I think of great lineups, man, 27 Yanks, the 1,000-run Tigers of 08, and the 25 Twins.
in August. The 25 Twins in August. That's the thing.
Dude, like I couldn't believe he said that.
Dude, somebody said, what's the harm in bringing up McGonigal now? I'm not saying there's a harm, and I'm not trying to tell you that Akil Baddoo is going to be the guy brought up, even though Sean would love that. But my guess is in September, the call-up would be somebody like a Justin Henry Malloy.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
I mean, I think he's having a good year in Toledo, hitting over 300. I think that's where the Tigers are going to go. A little punch off the bench. That'll help him a lot.
Alex Cobb is coming to save us. Bill asked, does Tesla have a significant role in the offense his rookie season?
Sure.
I think so. But can I also throw a caveat in there, Shep? There are too many weapons. Like legitimately, it's a wonderful problem to have. So I'm afraid to say that he's going to have this number or that number, because it's like, all right, so how many balls are there? There's one ball to go around with all those weapons. But with that being said, this is not going to be a prototypical quote unquote number 5 receiver. I don't believe it. I think he's going to be there with Tim Patrick. We know who the top 2 are. Make no mistake about it. I think so too. I personally do. I really do.
When they drafted him, Sean, I said, you don't trade that much capital to move up, and in the 3rd round, get a player like this for him to be a special teams guy and an extra package type of guy. If he's any good, Tim Patrick has to know too. He's any good, and he is. He's really good. This kid's really good. He's going to be your number 3. Here's what I wonder. This is the one thing nobody's talking about. Jamison Williams, you'd have to offer him an extension next year, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do you?
I think this is.
He's big and strong, and he knows how to use his body. I know he doesn't have the speed that Jamison Williams does. Not many do, but maybe this was a protection draft pick for Brad Holmes.
I think that's a great. He's also saving his money for a rainy day. I also laugh. Well, they have all this money. What the hell are they going to do with this money? And I honestly, Shep, I hear that shit. And come on, man. Are you new to this? Like, there are some guys that are due a payday, man. Yeah. And he's but one of them. A lot of guys. There are a few guys that are due a payday. So it's better to kind of, we're going to keep this money over here right now. And he has shown he's not afraid to give those guys that he drafted, that he scouted out, an ample opportunity to prove him right.
Good for him.
And that's the way it is. So
let me ask you this. Yeah. So out of Bengals camp, and the Bengals are playing Washington right now. Out of Bengals camp, Trey Hendrickson, the Cincinnati's listening to offers. The belief by some of the reports are that they would want a starting young defensive player back and a 2026 first round pick. Knowing that, and that you would have to pay Trey Hendrickson, not the 15.8 he makes now, but in all likelihood, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 31.5 million. Would you do that?
No way.
And if so, who would be the young lion you would trade?
Shep, I think it's batshit crazy. And because of the last part that you brought up, okay? Like everybody else, I think to myself, oh my gosh, could you imagine Hendrickson and Hutch? And by the way, I'm going to say it again. I think we are all, every one of us, guilty of just forgetting how good this defense was until the injury started to mount up, a.k.a. when Hutch went out. I think everybody forgets at the beginning of the year how good that defense was. But with that being said, yes, I mean, the idea of those two guys together, but Shep, like you're talking about a young player who's already in there, a first-round pick, which I don't give a shit about anymore. I really don't. I have no other way to say it.
At the bottom of the draft, no.
No, sorry, I don't care. But the hook is that last part.
Right.
This is a guy who forced all of this in his earnestness to be paid. This is a franchise that would not be able to pay that. I don't believe for a second they would be able.
I don't think so either. Now, it would probably be more like a 3-year extension. It's not going to be a long extension. So this is not what you're going to do with Aiden Hutchinson, right? So we all understand that. But still, I don't think you can wrap that much up in those two positions and then expect to keep Brian Branch, Jack Campbell as part of your defense, which is really important. Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Jamison Williams, anybody like that. You just can't expect it. You know what I mean? So
no,
that's why I say to people all the time, you've got a franchise defensive end in Aiden Hutchinson, and he's a son of a bitch. He's one of the best there is. You've got him on one side. The other guy is going to be just your fill-in guys, unless you draft one, unless there's a defensive end coming out of college that you happen to get, like obviously higher than Hassanein, but a guy at the one edge that you're going to be able to develop a little bit until he can reach that one moment that Hutchinson reaches in his career. But it's going to be the Davenports. It's going to be the Pascals. It's going to be the Zadarius Smiths of the world. That's what just about every team is doing. They're not. Who in the NFL right now, Sean, has two bookend defensive ends?
Nobody.
I mean, Cincinnati used to have one, Hubbard on one side, Hendrickson on the other.
Nobody.
You know,
I think people are forgetting.
But it was on 1-year deals.
Yep. I honestly, Shep, I'm going to say people are forgetting. Go back, fact check yourself. Look how good that defense was, man. And yes, Hutch was a huge part of it, but even some of the other injuries. Boy, Shep, we could keep going and going. Let me take care of some business. When it's time to get yourself a house, you need the right agent. You know who we recommend? This young lady right here. Lindsay Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment you will ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsay grew up on the main streets in Northville. Her team all over Southeast Michigan now. They are experts in all facets of the business, so when it comes time to move, Lindsay and her team will make sure you get the most out of your house and everything goes smoothly when finding your new home. Buyer, seller, first-time buyer, doesn't matter. Make sure you contact the pros. Make sure you contact Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com. She'll help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor at Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. Chicago Bears fans splooging so much they've messed up the pH level of Lake Michigan over a meaningless preseason game. For me, I almost want to call the season a quit and just say, let's think about 2026, right? Let's just think about 2026. Greg Branch is great. I wouldn't trade straight up. Tito,
I love Brian Branch. Brian Branch, one of my favorite players.
100%. 100%. And no doubt about that, Shep. You know what?
Caleb Williams' rope is really long, Bill. It's going to be really long. You don't spend a first overall pick last year and a guy who got sacked 68 times last season, show some promise, bring in an offensive coordinator, now a head coach who's supposed to really highlight him. They're going to give him plenty of chances, and they should.
I agree with you, especially when you have a guy who literally fancies himself as the quarterback whisperer. Otherwise,
think about this: the general manager would have to admit failure, and the new head coach would have to admit failure.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Yep. 100%. That's exactly it. Let's see. The Bills do Shep, but that's about it. Yeah, I think the Bills. You could look at what the Bills have and say that. You know what? I'm going to be really intrigued to see what he does at the deadline. I don't think for a second he's going to go out and make that big splash. I just don't. Shep, do you still? I feel that Za'Darius will be a Lion sooner rather than later.
I do too, but I was wrong about this. I thought he would be one by now, and he's not. I'm just trying to think of who the stud defensive ends are for the Bills. That's all. I mean, you're not considering Joey Bosa a stud, are you?
I think you can, right? You can, right?
The Chargers let him go. Who lets stud defensive ends go? He's not a top 15 guy at his position.
Bosa, Rousseau, yeah. I mean, Landon Jackson is more. Let's wait and see. I thought that was a good pick personally. I thought Landon Jackson was a good pick. So, yeah, I get what you're saying.
I think that might be a little bit of a stretch there.
Okay. All right. Anything else before I do this last read and we get out of here? I can't believe we've done 46 minutes, dude.
Have we really? Oh my gosh! Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, go ahead. Knock it out, my man.
All right. All About Catering LLC, full service caterer, graduations, weddings, bridal showers, week zero parties, corporate events, anything you need catering for, from 25 to 4,000 people. All About Catering can and will take care of you. Rick and his gang make sure that customer service and satisfaction is the number one goal. So do not sweat your next big event. Go to allaboutcateringllc.com today to see their menus and all their 5-star reviews. Give them a call, 586-731-1398 to get your event started. Shep, it's this close. It is. It's this close. We're going to make it. That the fall weather is here. It's this close. What is it? The next 20 Saturdays, we're going to have college football. That makes me so happy, dude. It makes me so happy.
And it starts this weekend. I was going to ask you one thing before we get out of here.
Yeah.
The game in, is it Dublin?
Yes.
So Dublin has Iowa State and Kansas State.
Yes.
Why?
I'm in years gone by. As you know, they've sent Notre Dame there.
Yes.
So that's kind of always been the week zero game. Iowa State and K-State, I have no issue. Why? Unless American football's bigger with Aer Lingus than we think. I don't know. I'm trying.
But don't you take the well-known teams and put them over there, Sean?
I would think that would be in your best interest.
If you're trying to grow the sport, I don't know why you feel like you got to grow the collegiate game, but there's kids from Europe coming over and playing. I think it's great for the sport. I'm not poo-pooing that. I can't imagine people saying, "Hey, in Dublin, what are you doing this weekend? I can't wait to watch this Iowa State play Kansas State." Who the hell is that?
This weekend, and I know a lot of guys, I mean, let's face it, most guys are more interested in what's going on in their backyard. Shep, I'm going to say it again. I'm just excited that I get to watch real football, and I'll watch that, and I'll watch Idaho State and UNLV. There I am. That's a live look at me coming from Parmentiers. It happens on the same day. My cider mill opens and week football is back. There I am.
That's not you.
It kind of looks like me, right?
I thought you had me for a minute there.
Todd does that AI stuff. But Fresno State and Kansas, Sam Houston and Western Kentucky, Stanford and Hawaii. I get to watch real college football because Shep, honestly, I can't do this exhibition crap anymore. I can't even pretend anymore. I can't.
I know. I can't either. But if you think I'm watching Stanford and Hawaii, you're smoking another one. No way.
40 Gumble said, Shep, I had to do a double take on that picture. See that? Hey, put that AI up again. Yeah, Todd, did you just create that on the spot? There I am.
I did. I had to move in for a minute. I'm also wondering how that shake is hanging up there. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Let
me tell you this. I'm so excited on Saturday. It's resting on something, okay? I mean, I've only been counting down the days to week 0 for like the last 100 days, for goodness sake, you know?
That's so well done. Good job, Todd. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, you guys. Shep, always a pleasure. Make sure you check out Shep and Braylon Edwards every afternoon at 2.
And we'll Sean in the morning, too.
Yeah. God bless you guys. Keep hope alive. I got to piss really badly. Bye.
Shep and Sean, featuring Matt Shepard and Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Still Alive by Anti-Ghost. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.
Don't say